Welcome to the channel. Today we have a really interesting product review of two TubesZB PoE Zigbee coordinators. This is based on some feedback from a recent survey for the coordinators that you use. Thanks John B for the top tip. Now the TubesZB is a small company running out of Delaware, USA. They are part of a sector of the industry that provides quality products with very specific features. TubesZB produces Zigbee coordinators that connect and are powered by Ethernet, or PoE as it's known. In this video, we'll walk you through the TubesZB PoE coordinators based on the CC2652P2 and the EFR32 chipsets. We'll cover what you get in the box, the design, integrate one into ZHA and the other into Zigbee to MQTT. Look for how they perform and give you the advantages of one over the other. Then we'll round off with a recommendation as to if you should buy it, upgrade to it, or skip it. So let's get the zig on and find out what these coordinators are all about. So the question I can hear you all asking is, why would I need one of these? Well, there are a few different reasons, but the main one is you decouple your Zigbee coordinator from your Home Assistant instance. That means your coordinator can be anywhere you have a PoE LAN connection, while your Home Assistant can be tucked away in a cupboard and you don't need to worry about interference. Think of this as how Bluetooth proxy works. Instead of having Bluetooth dongle sticking out of your USB port and tucked in a cupboard somewhere, you can have your Bluetooth proxy device anywhere in your house, usually loaded as a service onto another ESP device and connected to your Wi-Fi network, working seamlessly with Home Assistant as if it was plugged directly into your Home Assistant. Expanding on this, you might prefer to keep using your existing coordinator plugged into your Home Assistant, but want to extend your Zigbee network. Well, now you can plug this anywhere into your PoE network, and instead of relying on the Zigbee mesh network or repeaters, which by design is relatively slow compared to the speed of your TCP/IP LAN network. We'll walk you through on how to do this later in the video. I was sent two ZB PoE coordinators to review, but the views and opinions are all my own. I have the TubesZB CC2652P2 Coordinator, the white one, which is the base model, and the TubesZB EFR32, the black one, which is their top-of-the-line coordinator, both identical in design and build. You also get a handy instruction sheet, but we'll talk you through the installation process later. The price difference between the two is only $4, so the feature set should drive your purchasing decision. But by the end of this video, you'll understand the difference to help you in your purchasing decision. Links in the description to the full range. The units are 3D printed with very rigid cases to protect the electronics. They have ventilated holes on 3 sides to allow for adequate airflow and cooling. At one end is a Wi-Fi antenna connection that you can connect to the color-coded universal Wi-Fi antenna. At the other end is a PoE Ethernet connection. For the installation, we'll be connecting the TubesZB CC2652P coordinator through Zigbee to MQTT, which we'll call the TubesZB, and the Tubes EFR32 to ZHA. I'll be using a Reolink PoE 8-port switch to provide Ethernet and power, links in the description. We'll start with the TubesZB. Insert your PoE Ethernet cable. We'll be using Zigbee to MQTT for the installation, and since this configuration is slightly different from the standard install, I'll run through the installation from scratch. If you have already installed, you can jump forward to the configuration section using the timestamps in the description. First, we'll need to make sure that your profile has advanced mode turned on, as some of the options are not available for a standard user. Navigate to your profile, which is your username in the bottom left-hand corner. Scroll down until you see the advanced mode. Make sure that this is toggled on. Now to install Zigbee to MQTT, navigate to Settings, People, select Users on the top menu, which would not have been visible under the standard profile. Now select Add User in the bottom right-hand corner. Enter a display name. I'd suggest MQTT User. Enter a username. I'd suggest MQTT_user. Now enter a password for the user. I suggest using MQTT password. Just keep it simple and make sure you make a note of it. Now confirm the password you just entered. Tick the box for only can log in using the local network. Now press Create. Your MQTT specific user has been created, and you can see this is active and can be only used from the local network. Now we'll install the MQTT broker. For this, we'll be using Mosquito. Navigate to Settings, Add-ons, press the Add-on store in the bottom right-hand corner. Search for and select Mosquito Broker. Now press Install. Once installed, turn on Watchdog to restart the add-on if it crashes, as this is important that it continues to run. Now there are no special configurations, so you can just press Start. Make sure that you see a green dot in the top right-hand corner, signifying that the add-on is running. Now let's configure and install the MQTT integration that will link the MQTT broker with Home Assistant. Navigate to Settings, Devices and Services. Now you can see that Home Assistant has auto-discovered MQTT and is ready for configuration. If not, it sometimes comes up if you refresh your screen or reboot Home Assistant. We'll assume that it has not shown up and install it from scratch. Press the Add Integration button in the bottom right-hand corner. Search for and select MQTT. This will bring up all the MQTT related integrations. Select the top entry for MQTT. In the broker field, enter MQT-Mosquito, all in lowercase. We can leave the port alone. This can be changed for additional security, but it's outside the scope of this video. In the username field, enter MQTT_user, which is the user we created previously. Now enter the password you created for this user. Now press Submit. You'll be greeted with a success message. Now press Finish. Now we've completed the preparation work, we can finally get to installing Zigbee to MQTT add-on. Navigate to Settings, Add-ons. Now if we search for Zigbee to MQTT, it will not find the integration. This is because it needs to be linked via a special custom repository. Press the Add-on store in the bottom right-hand corner. Now press the three dots in the top right-hand corner. Now select Repositories. Copy the link in the description for the custom Zigbee to MQTT repository by right-clicking on the link and selecting Copy Link. Paste this into the Add field. Now press Add. The repository will be added and displayed above. You can now close this window. Now you will need to refresh your browser at this stage for the new repositories to be visible. Now search for and select Zigbee to MQTT. You could ignore the entries for Proxy and Edge and press Install. Turn on Watchdog to restart the add-on if it crashes. Turn on Show in Sidebar for easy access. Now go ahead and plug in your PoE LAN cable into your TubesZB, making sure that you see the LED lights up inside the device. Now to obtain the IP address of your tubes, you can either go through your router and search for a client starting with tubes. Alternatively, the TubesZB should be auto-discovered as a Zigbee device. Open up a new tab on your browser and open Home Assistant. Navigate to Settings, Devices and Services. You should see your TubesZB Coordinator has been auto-discovered. Press the Configure button. Your IP address of your TubesZB should be shown. Make a note of this, but do not press the Submit button. Otherwise, the TubesZB will become a ZAJ coordinator. Press the X in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Switch back to your other Home Assistant tab, where you are configuring the Zigbee to MQTT add-on. Select Configure. In the Serial section, enter port, space, TCP, // then the IP address that you just made a note of, then :6638, and press Save specifically for the section that you are in. Now press Info on the top line. You can now start the add-on. You should see the green dot in the top right-hand corner signifying the add-on has started. However, I would recommend going into the logs and making sure you can see the words connected to MQTT server to show everything is working successfully. You can now use Zigbee to MQTT as you would with any other coordinator, but with the advantage that this is remote and not connected to your Home Assistant instance. Now let's quickly test this out. Remember, this will act as any other Zigbee coordinator. Press the Zigbee to MQTT button on the left-hand menu. Press the Permit to Join. I'll be pairing the new Sonoff SN-ZB04P contact sensor. Check out the video in the pop-up above. Press and hold the pairing button for 5 seconds. The device will show up in Zigbee to MQTT. Select Exposes. Closing the contact shows instantaneous response. You can't beat that for performance. Now let's install the TubesZB EFR with ZAJ in Home Assistant. Plug in your Tubes EFR into your PoE LAN. Navigate to Notifications. Select Check It Out. Now Home Assistant only found the EFR as an ESP home device, which I thought it would find it as a Zigbee device, But since we are going back to basics and integrating from scratch, this is not an issue. Press the Add Integration, search for and select Zigbee Home Automation. Now we need to select the radio type for the Zigbee Coordinator. As the EFR has a Silicon Labs chipset, we'll select EZSP. Press Submit. In the serial device path, enter socket : //, then your IP address of your Tubes EFR, : 6638. Enter the baud rate of 115200 and your data flow as hardware and press Submit. Now in the making of this video, I have run through this installation previously, and hence you can see Restore and Keep Radio Network Settings. If you are replacing an existing coordinator, then you can select to restore an automatic backup. As I wish this to be a new network, I'll select Erase Network Settings and create a new network. You'll be greeted with a success message and any devices that were found. In this case, the EFR coordinator and 2 Zigbee devices. Optionally give the devices an area and press Finish. Now let's quickly test the Tubes EFR with ZHA. Navigate to Settings, Devices and Services. Press the Add Integration button in the bottom right-hand corner. Select Add Zigbee Device. Use a paperclip to press the pairing button for 5 seconds. The device will be discovered by ZHA. Optionally give the device an area. Now closing the contact instantly reports on the device that it is closed. Now Tubes makes several Zigbee PoE coordinators. The main difference between these are the chipsets of the Texas Instruments CC2652 and the Silicon Labs EFR32 based chips. Those that use the Texas Instruments CC2652 chips come in 2 different subvariants that use the P2 and P7 chips. The main difference between these is the amount of flash space and RAM. For the majority of users, this is not going to be a concern, and the performance will be the same. Another thing to bear in mind is that the P2 has adjustable transmission power up to 20 dBi, while the P7 is currently defaulted to 5 dBi. However, the developer advises me that this will be changeable via a firmware upgrade that is coming out. Now the Silicon Labs EFR32 MGM24, which is where the name comes from in the auto discovery, is the same chip that is used in the Home Assistant Yellow and Sky Connect. This has twice the flashable storage of even the P7 and adjustable power up to 20 dBi, but Silicon Labs costs more, hence the price difference. The TubesZB developer also does not recommend that this chip be used on Zigbee to MQTT, as it is not yet supported. So should you buy a TubesZB coordinator, upgrade to one, or skip them? That's a tough question with caveats. If you want to detach your coordinator from your Home Assistant instance and have it running on PoE, then yes. The TubesZB coordinators are an excellent product with great support and a loyal client base. Should you upgrade to a TubesZB coordinator? If you have an old coordinator with limited transmission power or limited support, then you should definitely consider the TubesZB coordinators, but only if you have a PoE switch. If you already have a Zigbee coordinator and are happy with it, then probably no. As I mentioned in the intro, this is a niche product servicing specific needs and feature sets, therefore they are not for everybody. Which of these products would I purchase? I would have to say I'd select the Tubes EFR. Yes, I know it doesn't offer variable transmission power, but this will be corrected shortly. Also, they are working on the support for Zigbee to MQTT, so hopefully that will also be added shortly. It's also the most performant model TubesZB sells, and for a few dollars extra, it's worth the extra investment. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then consider joining the channel, subscribing and dinging that bell. And while you are there, maybe a coffee, as this was a long one and I need it. Until the next one, I hope this clears your tubes.